Hi guys, new scanner. It's the XTool D7 Smart Diagnosis System. I've been working this scanner for over 2 weeks now, and this is my review of the XTool D7 bi-directional scanner. Now let's get this. Just for full disclosure, I did receive this as a free sample from XTool for this review. I received nothing else from XTool. I'm particularly excited about the price point of this scan tool, $479. However, we need to be sure that it does what it claims to do. I'll have timestamps in the video should you choose to skip any of the sections. In summary, I'll unbox, review its build, walk through the different functions, hook it up to the vehicle, run a number of scan tests, and lastly, I'll tell you the things I don't like about the tool as well as the things I really like, and also give you my thoughts on whether you should get this scanner. Let's unbox. So let's focus here. Charging cable, micro USB. The cable for connecting it to the car. Vehicle connector interface. You plug this in first and then connect the cable to this. Charger and some adapters. For US, you fit this one. For Europe, you fit this. Turning over to this section. Some neoprene to protect the screen. Documentation. User manual. The English in the manual is not excellent, however you're able to make out what is being said. The packing list, the certificate of quality, some personalized items which I've blocked off, and now the device itself. So nothing happening underneath, nothing on the sides as well. At the top is where you have most of the stuff. Your serial connection here, your power port, microphone, and your power button. On the rear, XTool branding, serial number, and a loudspeaker. Build is decent for the price point. The cable for connecting it to the car feels well put together, plus the OBD connector. I'll just go ahead to power on the device. I've listed the main specs on the screen while we wait for it to boot up. This is one animation you're going to have. This is the menu that you get, and this is the XTool Diagnostics app. And it does all the heavy lifting for the scanner. There are other native Android apps as well. Down here you have the navigation bar. This is for taking a screenshot, for reducing the volume, go out of whatever menu you're in. Multitasking, so to see the things that are stored on the RAM. Home is like your Android device. This is your app drawer. These are the apps that you have there. To increase the volume, this is to go back to the diagnostics app interface, so you're back there. This is the same thing. I haven't really seen any difference between this and that. So if I come here and also press this one, it takes me back to the same place. And then this last one is for screen recording, which I think is really nice. You're able to record the screen in case you're graphing data or something like that. Now on this menu, this is the main place that you would work with. For your diagnostics, you want to hook up to any car, you go through here. Let me cover these other icons before circling back to the diagnosis and special functions, which are the main ones. Updates, I'm not connected to Wi-Fi, but I do have a dedicated video on updates which is going to be coming out later. Let me cover that in that video. This is settings for the XTool app, so you can change the language, metric units, workshop information, and so on and so forth. And then this is more. This simply connects you to the XTool website. Remote control, this is for if you need assistance via TeamViewer. So you go through here. These are reports. Any report that you scanned before, this is a previous scan that I have here. If you've recorded data, you can play back. I haven't recorded any data menu. Before going into either the diagnosis or the special functions menu, to make sense to hook it up to the vehicle so that we're able to demo any of the functions that we would want to explore. So that's hooked up now. I've turned on the ignition. Let's just do an auto scan. And it detects the VIN. One thing I would say, this tool is quite fast, but again, this is a wired connection. Wired connections tend to be faster than wireless tools, so that's something to have in mind. It's the 16 pin and it's US. We can do an automatic scan or we do a system selection. So if you're going to do system selection, it just means going through all the different modules that you have in the car. Again, just to say that because you see any of these things here doesn't necessarily mean that you have it in the car. I'm in a 2017 Honda Accord and it doesn't have all-wheel drive. This is basically every single system that you have on the Honda diagnostic system. Some of these things are not going to be supported in your car. Let me go into the transmission, live data, You see all of these are all the data points that you would have. I would expect to have, yeah, we go into the switches, the transmission switches, shift solenoids, and data for the shift solenoids, you have that. Just to demonstrate the bi-directional capabilities, I'll go into the body system. Let's just activate some locks, door locks. Okay, actuation test. So let's unlock all doors. You just heard that, that's all doors unlocked, which is a really nice tool, especially where you're not sure whether the problem is a door switch or the actuator itself. If the door is able to unlock with this command, you're able to tell that at least the circuitry that works from the ECU to the actuator, as well as the actuator itself, that whole channel is functional, and that your problem is likely in the switch that sends the signal to the ECU. Problem is likely on that circuit. Just to give you a sense of the active tests that you have under the engine, there are quite a lot. So you have all of these direct injection fuel pressure test, which I did on an Autel tool. I have a video on that, as well as a lot of all these other active tests. I'm going to be doing other videos on this, so watch out for that. You may want to subscribe if you're not. Let's do an automatic scan of the car, all systems. That usually takes some time in the cars. We'll see how long this would take. So let me just say that one thing I like about this tool, especially during this automatic scan, is that you're able to pause it. And once it's paused, let's say I want to take a look at electronic power steering, I can go in there, read the data, read the fault that is there. This is something that you're not able to do on a lot of other scan tools. Nice thing to have, and then you can also continue the scan. So that's done. That took just under 4 minutes, which is comparable to what you would expect in other scan tools. Also good to see I don't have any trouble codes on the car. One other thing I also want to show you is that if you go into like the regular manual channel that doesn't feature automatic VIN retrieval, you notice there's this PDF icon on each of the cars. So this is a summary of what is supported on the car. You don't need to start going to the internet to find out what's supported and what is not. So you have all of that listed here. Let me go into the special functions menu. So you have about 28 special functions supported. Depends on the car you're in. All of it is not going to be supported in every single vehicle. Key programming, instrument cluster, power balance, seat matching, EEPROM. You're able to erase and write data to EEPROMs with that adapter. Electronic parking brake, throttle, transport mode, SAS, and so on and so forth. And that brings me to the next section, which is things I don't like about this device. First thing is the fact that it doesn't have a kickstand. That's something that is usually helpful. You can use to hang it on the steering wheel or something like that. Second is the feel of the material used on the sides. It's some sort of smooth plastic, not rubberized, so it's not the best in terms of ergonomics. One other thing you should be aware of, I won't necessarily call it something that I don't like, because in some instances it's actually a strength, is the fact that once you plug this into the OBD port, it begins to charge off the OBD port. Now that's a good thing in case your tool is dead. As you can see down here, this is charging already. If you're going to do extensive diagnosis on a car, especially a car with a battery on its last legs, you might want to hook up a battery maintainer, just like I have here, since I've been doing this review for a while. It would have been nice if this charging from the OBD ports could be disabled through the software. So just something to be aware of. The other thing is that this cable, once you pull it out, it would have been nice to have a compartment within the box where you can store the cable without having to disassemble all of it. If you're a shop, you want to have that convenience of storing the cable as is. But this is something that is easily fixable. I think you can make a larger cutout in this neoprene material that you have within the case. None of these are really deal breakers. It's more of me being picky. Now, the things I like, as I said, this is also both a weakness and a strength. So it charges from the OBD ports. There's nothing like your scanner is dead and you can't scan a car. One other thing I really love, these PDF summaries within the tool itself that tells you what the tool is capable of. It also connects quickly to the car, even though the fact that it has a cable also has something to do with that. This case really comes in a nice form factor. I've seen scanners that even though they are small or not as big as this tool, their cases will be so large that it's not portable to carry around. The other thing that I also absolutely love about this device is that it comes with 3 years of free updates. So for the next 3 years, you're not talking about paying anything. And even when the time comes for you to renew your subscription, subscription. The subscription is only at $99, which is quite affordable. That said, I'm on the lookout to see how frequent XTool is going to be with updates. There tends to be a correlation between the cost paid for subscriptions and how regularly the manufacturer comes out with updates. So my eyes will be on that. However, I did see that there are already updates for 2022 rolling out to the device. And then lastly, the tool is bi-directional and it's coming at less than $500. I haven't seen any other scan tool that comes in this tablet format that is bi-directional and sells for under $500. So that's really something that is good. Also, I'm going to leave details in the description for a coupon code that will give you a further 10% off. Now the big question, should you get this tool? Yes and no. Yes, if you're an advanced DIY person or a shop who wants bi-directional functions and is looking beyond just pulling codes and scanning all modules. It generally depends on the range of diagnoses or functions that you want to offer at your shop or you want to have as an individual. However, you shouldn't get this if you plan to offer advanced coding, flashing and programming of modules and things like that. You definitely have to spend much more to get those functionalities. In all, I think this is a really solid device which I'm happy to have and also happy to recommend. So that's my review of this scanner. Watch out for more videos that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a lot of active tests and other things. Hope this has been helpful. Catch you on the next one. Peace.